G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. Completely packed for work in the weekend. This podcast is brought to you by the new Mazda BT50 SP. It's a complete package. Today on the show, it's the 6 points leading into week 2 of the finals. And if you are playing community sports and you've got a couple of highlights on your phone, we're running a competition at the moment called Streamer Screamer. Go to streamer.com.au/screamer, upload your highlight and you could win $3,000. All right, let's get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Chris Robinson.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, pick the bloke who's put the shirt on for the first appearance.
Yeah, that's how I always dress.
So for those listening on the
Trying
podcast,
to bring some respectability to the workplace.
No, you look good.
We have a YouTube channel now, so if you're watching us on YouTube,
Your boss looks like an ass, but you look good.
smash that subscribe button. And if you're listening on podcast, subscribe there, leave ratings, comments, reviews, all that stuff, eh?
Now, I don't compliment you too often, but I'm going to. Last night, watching the news, Ryan Daniels threw to Josh Kennedy, streamer. I thought it was great. I texted him saying that was brilliant.
Did you?
Yep. And he said, a bit scripted. I said, no, I would have told you if it was too wooden. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's
really
good.
good.
It came off really well. It's good, mate. I
was surprised. Yeah, mate, JK had the jacket on, the shirt on. Like, he's certainly not doing that down at the Anglers Club.
Look, we didn't wait long until bringing him into the Seven West Fold.
Yeah,
JK, so
no, the body was still warm. Don't worry about that. Kane Corns was talking about him playing for Fremantle, and JK's doing streamer reads.
But that's good. Like, some of the stuff we've had come through for this comp's been really cool.
So, what is it for those people listening? Country footy stuff or regional
just
footy
any
stuff?
Not just
regional
footy,
sport,
like any
regional sport, yeah.
regional sport, like community sport. Like just at the moment, we're just looking for your highlights. So if you got something on your phone, like you filmed a great
some hangers with it. Yeah.
What's the most bizarre one we've had so far?
So one of the early days, one bloke just uploaded.
Was it not the first episode?
So it's been running we've been taking it for a week. These are the best 3 of the first week.
Well, JK's presentation last night, was that first up?
That was the first.
Yeah, that's first up. Yeah, good.
Done. So we had like probably the 5th entry was just a bloke doing a shoey in the room after a win. That still rates up there pretty highly.
Does that go in?
It's in there. He's in the running.
Yeah, good. But has it been played on TV?
It hasn't. No. We might fold it into the next one.
You have to fold it in, mate.
Zave's like, all of a sudden, I'm a chance here.
I'm voting for this bloke.
Massive chance
Dan
here.
Ricciardo, which we haven't seen for a long time, can do it.
Wow.
Yes, this is very true. So I'll be rolling out a bunch of them on the at Streamer Sports, which is on Instagram.
Yeah.
And TikTok as well. So we'll roll a bunch through there. And then in about 4 weeks, we'll pick out the winner who wins $3,000. Couple of runners up, win 500.
Nice.
Around it.
Yeah, very nice. Oh, and yeah, speaking of, you're talking about my dress.
Yes. So a lot of chitter about people have seen you for the first time.
Yes.
And you look like Walter White. was just talking about the glass barbecue.
Oh my God.
And no, in a radio thing today. But mate, here's a free hat.
Wow.
Here's a free hat. You asked.
With a few specks
Take
of
your
mud on it.
Well,
as well.
I did have an issue. I was at the footy oval yesterday and my runners went on it by accident and had mud at the bottom. But it's good.
Did roll around in the hat. I'm very happy.
It's a good hat. Stay
Steak and produce, great cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, cherry tomatoes.
Looking them up at the various farmers markets around Perth.
Mount Claremont, get in there. Say good day to Sammy when you're in there.
I am glad to do this. I did a bit of work to get this hat.
You did?
I've only mentioned it about 400 times.
No, the only thing is it's just a small, nice little boutique cherry tomato, man.
That's it. Dream big, kids.
Yeah,
dream big.
it's great. I love it.
One day you two could get a free hat.
But I do think that the cherry tomatoes are going pretty well.
So yeah, Robbo's the first one you've come in that's been done for YouTube, mate. How do you feel about it?
It is. I'm excited. And we're coming in off a massive milestone for the pod as well.
1 million downloads. We didn't talk about that.
1 million downloads.
Forgot that was
Congrats
coming
to
up.
us.
Try to find that Gronk. You know when Tom Brady went over to Gronk for his $1 million bonus, he needed one more catch? So Gronk's sitting there and Tom Brady comes over and he's like, I need my millie. Anyway, runs out very next play, just does this nothing play. Brady just ditches it to him. I got my millie. There's no gift. So anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what I'm talking about.
It's cool. Because we kind of knew that it was coming up. Like we saw the numbers, but then it sort of jumped up on you. And it kind of...
Shan, where's our cake?
Yeah, we...
No, good. Sammy, we need one more hat. Em comes home with these hats from the markets. I don't even go. So here's a hat for you. I was like, cool, who's it for? Nick, you. Anyway.
But it was actually quite, I found it quite humbling. It was a really nice moment to think, we've been doing this, started as a laugh and we kept doing it the whole way
we did it as a project to we just grabbed Rhino off the scrap heap.
That
And it was like a task of Nick and I to get him back on track, really, with
it's
life.
elevated Rhino.
Well,
it's elevated.
we put him...
It's been a big reason for his
He
ascendancy.
didn't have a lot of oxygen left, old Rhino, and we just resuscitated him.
That's right.
He was washed up.
Now he was in Melbourne doing the news live. I'm like,
saw that from the corner. He's just standing on the street corner going the across. He went earlier this week, like
a bit early for
games
me.
on Saturday.
A bit early, Rhino.
What is it, Tuesday? Wednesday?
Thursday.
What,
Actually, that's good
was
timing.
there Wednesday?
Oh, he was there Wednesday. Hey, what about a young guy? I know we haven't really started this, so we had a bloke this morning on radio ringing. He's hired a plane to fly over this weekend.
I saw this, yeah. It's like $1,000 a pop or something.
Yeah, $1,000 on the night, 525 either way return.
Yeah.
Why are more people not doing this?
Well, and didn't he say, like, if they don't fill up the plane and they can't go, then everyone just gets their money
Yes,
back
they
too.
can go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
I think a lot of people aren't doing it because there's just not a lot of spare
Tickets.
air crew.
Oh, no, well, the air crew's ready to go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that you're paying $2,000 to go on the big one, but all you need is $100 to get there for half price. Anyway, food for thought.
Be a good game too.
I'll be on there to Sydney next week.
Are you going to Sydney?
If they win?
Yeah, when Freo win.
Oh,
When they
Freo
win?
When they win.
Gotcha. I see.
When they win, I'm going to Sydney.
Yeah, please. You're wearing red and white.
Cheer, cheer, the red and the white.
All right, so this is 6
It's
points.
hard not to like Sydney though.
Yeah,
They're
In all
very
seriousness.
lovable, yeah.
They are lovable.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a Queenslander where it is just naturally hard to like anything that comes out of Sydney.
This is coming from a bloke that lost the grand final to Sydney
Yeah,
in 2012
true,
when we had
yeah.
25 more inside 50s.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that he actually played in those games when we bring him up just like idly, and it's like one of the worst moments of your life.
No,
and we just casually discuss it.
So that was the moment I hurt my leg and didn't play footy for another 2 years. No, that was a good day.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Kicked the first goal at
Oh, and how good was the
$41.
Adam Goods goal?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Malcheski. Oh, let's see that again.
All right, let's get stuck into it. Well, let Robbo kick us off this week. What do you got?
Okay, let's do it. I share your belief on Freo. Is that your phone?
That's a slap.
fine.
Turn it on
That is
silent.
my phone is generally on silent 99% of the time.
He was
watching.
watching something a little bit earlier.
It is
I'm making a
it is
reel.
a West App alert about the Dockers, so
Is
it's
it?
actually
What's
very
the
timely.
Matt's having a left in
Sounds
Perth
like Tabs
playing
is
the
not
waffle.
going to get on the plane.
Nah, I didn't think so. I actually did that game for 7 on the weekend.
Sunday, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad, but every player played well. They won by 100.
Yeah.
He would have been their 10th
But
or
it's
12th
also
best.
just when we get to this stage of the year, it's very tough to change a winning final team. It's extremely tough to change it.
Once you're in, you're in.
And especially if Amos plays the way that he did.
Brent Renouf, 08,
Yeah, that's
laid in. Simon Taylor rested. Brent Renouf played okay.
Mm-hmm.
We were winning. And Squizzy, after his rest, not an injury, couldn't get back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never remember if he is or isn't, but he was like nephew of Steve Renouf, right? Or is this not right?
I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I don't think so.
We're going to dig that up. If you know there's a relation between Steve Renouf and Brent Renouf.
He's a Queenslander.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think he's still married
Steve
to or
Renouf.
dates, I think married to Cyril's cousin.
Yeah, right.
Narelle, yeah.
For people who don't know Steve Renouf, just look it up.
Rugby.
Unbelievable. Broncos winger.
Yeah.
One of the best tries you'll ever see in a grand final
Yeah.
at the Broncos.
Okay.
Anyway, if you know, hit us up in the comments.
Yeah. If you know of his uncles, then let's do it.
So Freo, I touched on this at the West a couple of days ago. I wanted to go into it a little bit more because a lot is getting made of the Magpies and their belief and closing out close games. Not last weekend, not with.
But almost a beast freckle from doing it again.
Yeah, very, very nearly did. Not as much gets spoken about Freo and their ability to overcome getting jumped at the start, which is what they did. Obviously,
Which is
it was
not a
in
great trait to have.
massive form. Well, it's not. It is and it isn't because they have a different kind of belief where it's particularly in these big games where they don't get rattled if they fall behind early because it happens so often. So they've been behind at quarter time 11 times this year, and they've gone on to win 9 of them and draw 1 and lose 1. So they've been behind at quarter time 11 games, so basically
50%
half
of
their
the time,
games, and they've lost 1 of them.
It was just putting like
It's
the
good.
fan hat on for a minute. There's games late in the season where I've been more concerned if Fremantle are up at quarter time than if they're down by a couple of goals.
It's a little bit like that. And the stat that I pulled out this way, which is the omen for Freo fans, so they've won 9 games, as I said.
Yeah.
The only other 3 teams past 20 years, the only other 3 teams that have won as many games after trailing at quarter time, West Coast 2006, Premiers. Geelong 2011, Premiers. Richmond 2017. Premiers.
So what have they all got in common?
It's a trait where they have that belief.
Yeah.
And as I said, it was an extreme version of it.
They must be so fit.
They are fit and they don't get rattled.
That surprisingly does give you a lot of confidence. Not so much the Hawthorn and West Coast the latter years for me personally, but as an adult in 08, we just in our head knew we were the fittest side. Don't know whether it was utter shit, whether we were or weren't.
Thought you were.
But we thought we were. And that was the main thing, was we actually just thought we could outrun anyone because we're so young. But you're right. Like they just look at that and go, geez, we are. And I guarantee Longy would be going, you're fitter than these guys. Be around them, you're fitter than them. Yep. I guarantee it. And, of course, you lose Darcy Moore today. Was carried off training, came back out. But, I mean, so the first tweet I read was impact to his knee, screamed, carried off with the physios. And I was like,
done.
He's dead. And then it's like 2 minutes later, Darcy Moore's reappeared at training. I was like, we went with it on the news, and you almost did the Carver newsman almost did it as though
he's done.
He's out for the year. Like, goodbye. Then I had to come back on and just correct it. He's back training.
Bit of extra mayo on every training report come finals.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
You want to go or you want me to go?
You go.
All right. Now, there's a lot spoken about, Roy Lobb, for example, gets a lot of time. We're speaking a lot about Taberner. We speak a lot about Andy Brayshaw. Sarong now gets a lot of love. But I think we sometimes pile in the defenders as like a collective. Like, Freo's defence is good. Their defence is good. But we haven't really got to the nitty-gritty of it all. So I've got why they are so good this year. How's this for continuity off the back of what they've done their last few years? So Alex Pearce this year's played 20 games.
That's big for him as well.
The 3 seasons prior,
record,
so 21, 10, 20, 0, 19, 11, 21 games over the last 3 years. He's played double that this year. Then you got Hayden Young. He's played 21 games this year. Last year he played 8.
Yeah, what was
the year before that, 5. So he's played 13 games in the 2 years prior. Brennan Cox, 22 games this year. 21 he played 12. 20 he played 13. 19 he played 8. So less than half a season on almost all of them. Jordan Clark, 23 games this year, 11 last year, 3 the year before that. And last but not least, Chapman, 17 games this year and only 6 last year. So how is that for continuity? There's 107 games this season combined amongst them, and they wouldn't even get to 107 over the last 2 or 3 years combined.
Oh, massive. And there's like the talent there that when they're out on the park together, like.
Well, as a defence, you just need to know where your teammates are. Yeah. That's the most important part, is knowing where your teammates are. So Alex Pearce, I think, has had a spectacular year, being like the captain of the back line. I know he's captain of the club, but like captain of the back line, you just work off Alex Pearce's positioning. I don't know. I just think that back line, as much as I don't think any of them are all Australians, but are they the best back line in Australia? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're tremendous, and it's amazing. Phil Merriman, who's their fitness man, Filthy Phil, he's done a good job to get them and the continuity amongst that back line.
They have very few people who can't be selected this
I was going to say, they're
crazy.
Like that.
That's why I'm tipping Peel to win the flag.
Yeah, that Peel lineup on Sunday, you talk about the backups for that defence. They had Joel Hamling as a premiership player. Ethan Hughes is there. Nathan Wilson's there.
Ethan Hughes has got an amazing body on him. I didn't realise how amazing it was until he was amongst not the absolute elite. Like, his rig.
Stands out at waffle level.
Oh, my Lord, he has a nice rig on him. I mean, Darcy Tucker was...
Did you take the jumper off at any stage?
I went in the shower, the bathroom. Ethan in. Anyway, but like Darcy Tucker came off injured and we won't see him again this year with a knee. But like he was in there. Mitch Croden was in there.
Connor Blakely's get 35.
Blakely dominates. Meek's the best ruckman at state level.
Neil Erasmus.
Johnson didn't play. Forward line of Taberner, Josh Tracy, Collier,
Sturt,
Sam Sturt. That is.
They've got people out there, don't they? You might have one of those classics. Yeah, everyone's available, so the affiliated side wins the comp.
Yeah, well, I think that there are now rules in place.
You have to. Oh, there might be.
You can't play 17 or whatever it is. I think you can play 12.
That's right. There's a limit.
And they have to play 2 games of the last 6 or something. Now, I might have made that up completely.
It's still going to be a pretty good 12.
Yeah, well, you're picking the top end 12, aren't you? So the bottom 12 fall out.
Going back to the Freo backline, there's different schools of thought on him, but I really rate Brandon Walker as part of that too.
So I didn't even look. Yeah, I should have looked him.
Well, he was in and out, and then they figured out that he was in their best back six, and then he hasn't left.
He's still a
since.
Teenager.
He's a teenager, yeah, second or third year.
He sometimes gets you think he's in a lot of trouble. And then like on the weekend, he had one where he was about to get run down or about to get done holding the ball, and somehow most people would have tried to handball it and would have been tackled, like arm would have been pinned and dropped it. Instead, he just slapped it down, threw it down onto his foot.
Yeah, one-handed sort of throw
I was
down.
like, how's he possibly done that? And it was play on. No, very good footballer too.
Yeah, I like what he brings.
Anyway, good numbers, X.
Yeah, totally. I feel like Freo's going to be more. The guy numbers respect numbers. I feel like they're going to be more well organised behind the ball because Collingwood's real danger is they get you out the back.
Yeah,
they get
fast.
you in transition.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Freo's going to have that organisation where they're not going to get caught out too many times.
Well, the game's going to be who can set up quicker. Like, can Freo set up behind and get off Pearce, what they need to do, and Cox and Luke Ryan, I didn't add down because he's been a very, very good footballer for a few years. Or can Collingwood turn it over and DeGoey
because they just want to go fast
and see what they can get out the back and Quainer and those quick guys. Even like Darcy Moore just puts the foot down and goes.
Yeah, and that's Freo's ball movement generally allows them to stay pretty much in their structure behind
which sometimes hurts them.
Yeah, which sometimes
hurts them a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's
a little bit of rain on the way. I don't think it worries Freo at the G.
No.
I'm not buying into the rain stuff anymore.
No,
they're just a good team.
Earlier in the season. Yeah. We'll stick on the final stuff. We've got one finals one sort of tradie wise.
Let's rip it to pieces.
So I'm going to pick each club for the two finals.
Yeah.
And like I want you to sort of fill in the blanks here. Like if they win it, it's because this person played well.
Okay.
Give me one person who you reckon if they win, that person had to have had a big game.
Okay.
Would anyone have said Gary Rowan for this
Gary
time last
Rowan's
week?
Geelong.
Well, funny, I said for the Bulldogs, we sort of somehow had the same sort of topic the other day, and I said Marcus Bonampelli needs to play a top 5 game of his career.
Played top 5 quarter.
Well, mate, I'm sitting there a quarter time, a genius. I was like sitting my cup of tea, going, get me something stronger, guys. Put a shot of vodka in that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he didn't play the big second half.
All right, so we'll start off with Melbourne.
Melbourne? I mean, I think Gawn just really needs to dominate in the ruck, right?
All right, slow down on that because
am I treading on your toes there?
We're going to go back into Gawn.
Okay.
I like the point, though. So I'm not going to say Gawn, but I agree with you. Christian Petrarca with his leg.
His broken leg.
Yeah. It's either like he's normal. If he's not normal, I don't think they can win the flag.
Yeah.
Like if he's a liability.
He's been described as 100%.
That's what I think too. Yeah, and people are like, bring the AFLPA. He shouldn't be able to play with a cracked leg. I'm like, yes, he should. If he's fine, he's fine. Yeah. So if Christian Petrarca's 100%, I think he's the man of the finals.
And if he's not playing like that. They're pulling the pin. Even if he's not and they win, do they keep like?
No, well, you have to. You can't not. Yeah, you have to. But, you know, it might get through this week and then next week, like, Petrarca had 12 touches or whatever. You remember that game? Was it Anzac Day? I know he had a lot more of the football. It was a week after or before that. Around that patch, he had a really, really quiet game. And his knee flared up or something.
He struggled against Freo.
Was it Freo?
One at
Freo. It was Freo. Yeah, that's what it was.
I think he was Crook.
Crook had the flu or something, and then there was talk about his knee at some stage as well. So he can put in one of those, which is so rare. If he does that, I think they're in trouble. If he plays like himself, they probably keep going.
Yeah, and I've gone like it's an obvious one, but an easy one was Steve May. Like Brisbane can't get around that defence, then Brisbane don't win.
Jeez, he's good.
And they haven't been able to.
No.
And on the other side of that, we'll slip to Brisbane, and I say Joe Danaher.
Big Joe.
Like if one of their tools, and Joe's probably the most obvious one.
What do they do with the ruck, sorry, before we does
T-Mac.
Does Darcy...
I think Darcy Fort's been flagged.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Coming in, yeah. Which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Jeez,
I really
think, I know, but who was McStay rucking against?
Ben Miller.
And Nathan and Miller, whereas I think the big MG's a bit different.
It's almost like I'd just concede it then and put him in there because you're not going to beat...
Yeah.
I don't know, no disrespect to Darcy Fort, but he's
not... who knows? Who knows how it's going to be. But, okay, so you went Big Joe. Big Joe. I'm Dane Zorko.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. His explosion in his head, he's the captain of the joint. I just think that if he can... He's got those games where he can kick 3 and have 20. Like, he's got them in him.
Yeah.
But we've also seen when he's having a dirty night, the damage it can do as well.
Yeah, this is true.
So I think in terms of, who calls himself the barometer?
Reece Matheson.
So I think, because I reckon McCluggey's going to get what you get. If Neil's tagged, you're going to get what you get. Joe v so and so. But I just reckon Zane Zorko might have a moment.
Mm-hmm. I'll take Charlie Cameron because he's passed 2 against Melbourne. Well, he's 2 against Melbourne this year. 0 goals, 0 goals.
Who goes to him?
Hibbo.
Yeah,
Hibbo's been doing the job. So if he gets shut down again, and then again you're relying on a bit more of McStay and the Ruck, is Danaher going to have another game like not that Danaher's game was that amazing. He had some boneheaded moments in that game on Thursday night.
What game was it we went to rip that top? It was Melbourne the time before. Where Brisbane is struggling to get it inside 50, and he's taken a mark 60 out and gone with a barrel that went sideways out in the full. You're like, that is a bonehead moment,
There was one against
Joey.
the Tigers where he called for the little hand pass around the back back pocket.
Oh, jeez.
It got given to him, and then he messed it up horribly. It's
I love Joe.
Why are you calling for that? And 2, why are you giving it to him?
Yeah, was it Zach Bailey who gave him the hands in the pocket on the weekend where it was just like you had a free kick 10 metres out in front.
Yeah.
He gave it to him on an angle.
Yeah.
He kind of got bailed out a bit.
We love Joey.
Crazy.
All right, Collingwood.
For Collingwood to win, X has to play well. Let's have a think. It's probably got to be a midfielder, right? With Adams out.
Yeah,
Up against Brayshaw, Sarong.
You feel like Adams hasn't done much, but he actually...
Adams is your 22 to 28 every week.
He's the base, he's a rock. Yeah.
So is it Maynard? Is it Maynard who goes in there and has a big one?
Does anyone not like Bruzzy Maynard?
Yes.
I love him, yeah.
But are they going to rob him from their defensive half to do that more than just fits and spirits? I don't know.
I'm a Jordan De Goey man. Jordan De Goey, 26 and 2 last week. Offer's been put back on the table. Mm-hmm. He's had some very big finals games. I think we oversell. He's played some brilliant finals. I think
last quarter on Saturday.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. But he did the clearance and the tackling stuff as well. Mm-hmm. I think I'm keen on the De Goey situation.
Yeah, I go down to the forward line. We're talking about Freo's defence again. Like, I feel like a lot of their guys are going to be well covered. But like, if Ash Johnson kicks 4. He's able to kick him, like, he gets him in those weird spots.
Jeez, he kicks him well from the boundary line.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's going to get... Freo, if they're giving up shots, they're going to give up a couple of bad ones, and they're the ones that you do give up because you don't want to give up ones sort of in kickable positions. But he is the one who nails them. So let's say he gets, 4 of those shots and kicks 3. Like, that's going to go a long way towards Collingwood winning. Yeah. Fremantle, just the obvious one's so wrong. Made for finals.
So wrong, so right. I haven't heard that before.
Just rips through there. He's going to be a very hard play to stop for a long time.
I didn't bring my water today. That's an issue.
I didn't either, actually, funnily enough.
It's an issue. So Sarong.
I'll take the big guy. I'll take Sean Darcy. If he monsters it in the ruck.
Which he did on the weekend.
If it is a bit wet, more stoppages, this could be a real Sean Darcy statement game. If he can get on top of Cameron.
Darcy v. Darcy.
I've got a bit of a unique one.
What do you got?
Bailey Banfield.
The Logie Bear.
Oh, yeah?
I think he goes to Darcy Moore.
Oh, okay.
As a tagging role. There you go.
Like it.
I think he goes to Darcy. Darcy Moore is a superstar.
Yeah.
Like on the weekend, what he was doing off Hawkins was danger. I think you need to start half locking down.
They haven't really done that with a couple. They did it with May, and then it went to...
Yeah, it didn't. Well, he knocked himself out, Logue.
Yeah. So you reckon that happened as a defensive sort of key?
I think they do. Because, Logue's not... He's not going out there to kick 3 goals if he's trying anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not a natural forward. He's athletic. Moore's athletic. Like 2 athletes you won't see better.
Yeah.
I just think...
the matchups between him and Charlie Cameron... Not Charlie Cameron, Charlie Curnow.
Curnow, yeah, they were
great. Ross Lyon, officially out of the Essendon coaching race. He didn't like the vibe. Yeah. It's the vibe. It's Marbo. It's just the vibe.
What about the match thing that did you hear him say? Perfect match or
it came up as what?
It came back into 39%. I was like, what are you talking about, Ross?
Yeah.
Well, old Rossism.
The best line was his organ transplant line.
No,
Did you hear that? So
this
is on Footy Classified last night. I've written it down here. He goes talking about Essendon and their tendency to not fully support Essendon people in that coaching role. So talking about Matthew Knights, talking about Woosha, talking about Ben Rutten.
Yeah.
And he says, quote, "It's like an organ transplant. After 2 years, you get rejected." which one made me laugh.
Organ transplant?
Well,
I was going to say, my mate's got a bloody, he got a kidney put in there. He's still charging. Don't tell him that.
One, I hope that doesn't set back the organ transplant business too much because there's obviously many more success
stories.
stories.
Why would I donate? I've only given them 2 years.
But so it just really made me miss the fact that Ross isn't in the industry as a coach anymore. He just gives you so much gold.
I got a mate, so he's on Sundays on a show, Sunday Rub or whatever they call it. And my mate so I love the Saturday version, but my mate only listens to Sunday because he just sits there waiting to laugh at Ross. Even when Ross is not trying to be funny,
always gives you something.
He just finds it so funny. Like comments like, I didn't see the game, but, and then we'll charge into an opinion. You're like, oh, it's so good.
One the other week when he said, someone on Footy Classified brought up an article that had been written connecting to Essendon, and he's like, oh, yeah, who wrote that? And the guy said, I don't know. He's like, I think it was this guy.
He knows a lot, Ross.
Yeah, the one time I had to go up, because he was my first year like on the footy writing beat. I had Woosha in his last year, who was just like curmudgeonly, like
prickly.
He was tough to
and then I had
deal
Ross
with at that point,
on the other end. It was a fair introduction coach-wise. And years down the track, there was one, like it was a press conference, where I put my thing up, and Ross said, oh, you did that story you wrote today, that was good.
Oh, right.
In my head, I just went, I'm trying to figure out what the game is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this was very strange.
Was it good? Was it not good? Did he not like something?
There had to be something going on here. So I just sort of took, 6 paces slowly backwards. Not ready to fire the question.
So do we see him again, or do you reckon this is it? If he's been out another year?
Yeah. Well, what would come up next year?
It's tough to say.
What would come up next year?
I think at the start of this year, we said there'd be no jobs going in the first place.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot. Port, if Ken wants out at Port, if Port want out.
Yeah, Ken. Fagan, if he wants to refresh the joint a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, we can't see many, but there will be some.
There will be some everywhere.
There will be.
But
it's tough to say with Ross, though. Like, he's been out of it for a while now.
Yeah.
So next year is year...
But, mate, if he comes back in, he might be refreshed. Like, really refreshed.
He might be.
Can you imagine?
But it's also been a long time since he had a winning season. Like, 2015 is a long time ago when you're talking about.
Yeah, but he also grabbed two separate lists and went.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah, he did.
Always have that in his back pocket.
He will.
All right, next one. Yeah, Maxi Gawn. Now, what do you do with Max Gawn? He hasn't been starting in the ruck. Luke Jackson starts in the ruck. He's been playing forward with a bit of ruck. Is he not just like without obviously Big O as well on tomorrow night?
Yep.
Is it not just play your best players in the best positions for as long as you can? Is that not finals footy?
Yeah.
So like,
that's some pretty good finals recently, Max.
It's incredible, and love Max, best ruckman in the competition. But would we agree that set shot goal kicking is not his?
Yeah, not
Correct.
his forte.
Not his forte. And like, I mean, the one that kicked on the weekend that went sideways, like, you don't know whether they're going to go in or not.
Yeah.
So are you not better to be having him putting it down Clary Oliver's throat, Petrarca's throat, Viney's throat, Brayshaw's throat, and let them do the kicking and get behind the football and mark it and set the wall up and just be the best ruckman, most dominant player in the competition at times?
Yeah, how many 5-time All-Australian ruckman or whatever, just be that.
I just don't get the shift at the moment. Is it to give Jackson footy so to try and keep him happy, or do they see it as being the best way?
You don't play those games in finals, right? The contract.
I don't think so. But like, or is it just the best mix that they think works?
I think that's what they think works. But
do we all agree? If you're the coach, I always think, put yourself in the opposing coach's box. If you're in Chris Fagan's coach's box and you look down and see the big fella with the beard heading to the forward line, what do you think?
Yeah, you're a happy man.
You're happier than if he was standing in the middle with those 3 stars around him.
Yeah, you got to play to your strengths. The quote from Goody this morning: "We'll certainly give Max a little bit more responsibility at the ruck position throughout this week."
Which you know what that means?
Which indicates they might.
He's playing ruck the whole
They
night.
might go with him a fair bit more.
Yeah, and the only thing too is like because he's been doing so little of it. Like, I wouldn't know. I've never played ruck, but do you lose your hardness of like you got to get used to getting. Right? You got to get knees and all that sort of stuff all the time. If you're only doing it 50% V80, is it going to be a much harder night?
I don't know. I think he'll be licking his lips. Again, with the greatest respect to Darcy Fort, I think he'll be looking at Darcy Fort saying,
I think
you're mine.
You get on Brisbane's Twitter and it'll say something like, news in, Darcy Fort's pulled up a little bit sore after reading that game. It's like when someone used to return, they're like, back in comes, I don't know if he played, Dale Morris, a full back at the time, back from knee or whatever, and it's like, Oh, the poor bugger. He's timed it with Buddy Franklin. Yeah. Like, the amount of players. Big news out of St Kilda. And he's like, oh, my God, Bud's in pretty good form. But if they beat Bud, then I suppose it's a good way to get going. Yeah.
Big Bud. How do you reckon he's going to go in the prelim?
Oh, was it on this podcast was saying, I still think he's going to have his moments.
Yeah,
he's got. I don't know if he's going to kick 6, but I reckon he's got Stewie Dew moments. 2 in a minute or, something like that. And he makes everyone else walk taller.
He does.
Pick another bloke. Look how excited he gets when blokes are kicking goals around him.
And there's no one he's still. What do you kick? 50 plus again.
Yeah, I know.
We still talk.
Don't we celebrate 50?
Yeah, 50 is like an unattainable goal for some young Keith. It's like when they hit that superstar.
Well, last year, the King boys were kicked 50 last year.
Yeah,
and you're like, mate, Bud did it on one leg. Yeah. But we think that he's got to wrap it up. Yeah, because it's not what we used to. Anyway.
All right, so I'll wrap this up with the Tigers. So we knew that the Taranto was heading there.
Is that done?
Not done.
No, but
nothing done, but it sounds like done.
We heard the offer, but has he said that he wants to go to Richmond and everything?
He hasn't said it. Okay. No. There's just been reporting around it. But
I recommend he does say it. 7 years.
7 years.
He's holding out for 8, so they're still
imagine if he got 8
still negotiating it.
Imagine if he got 8.
You've got to mention that off the top. Callum Mills' 6-year deal.
So I know I'm a real prickly bugger with these long-term contracts, but if there's the top end of who I'd give one to,
Callum Mills
is probably the first one.
So you're okay with this?
No, I'm not okay with it. But if it was 5, I'd find it acceptable. But Mills is honestly the number 1 player in the competition for a long-term contract.
You reckon?
Yeah. Does it both ways. Tough. Skilled. Best player. I don't know. Is he durable? Has he missed many games?
Well, he probably hasn't. No, that's right.
No,
I don't know. It just doesn't look like someone that ever looks like they're really beaten up and sitting on the boundary line.
Yeah.
Anyway,
on the Tigers, so Taranto sounds like he's going to go there. And now it turns out that Jacob Hopper so that's probably swinging towards the Tigers as well. If they can land Taranto and Hopper in the middle, thinking about that's probably the one area where they didn't have depth. Guys at that level. They could bounce back pretty quickly for another however many years. How old's Tom Lynch?
He's
30. 30?
30.
But he's still had a few years.
Let me look it up for you.
He's got years left in him.
30 or 31 now, right?
He'd be somewhere near there.
Yeah.
And then Terrence coming in the back line. You got Gibkiss making his way through.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Shea Bolton running through there. If they can get those two in, they're clearly back in the window, but how long is the window
30 next season.
Well, there you go.
30 next season. 29 now.
So if they get those two guys in the middle, how long has their window just been extended?
And Nank's a good ruckman.
Yeah.
He had another 26 last weekend. I think we overlook. I think he had 30 maybe 2 weeks early. He's a good ruckman.
He does get overlooked. Yeah.
But he's good.
Does Jacob Hopper lift the bar much though?
I think he does. Do you remember? Was it the start of the year or end of last year? He just looked like an absolute stud.
No, it would have been last year. He didn't play much this year. Yeah, how many games did Jacob Hopper play this year?
I feel like
I don't know. If he's your third guy.
Well, the meatball had a good year.
Meatball had great.
But he got subbed off 5 times.
I was going to say, he just needs to stay out there.
He can't stay out there.
Always looks good, and then every third week he's getting subbed out.
But I think if Hopper's body's all right, he's capable of winning the best and fairest kind of areas.
Yeah, so Hopper he played round 1 and then didn't play till round 18.
Really?
Yeah, so he might have
missed that. Was that long out? Must have been last year. His last year when he was running through there,
so last year, 28 and a goal, 18 a goal, 25 goal, 32, 26, 26 and 1, 30 in the first few weeks. Oh, and then the week after, 35 and 1. And then a 30 and 1. Yeah. And then a 41 in there.
Yeah, he's ready. He's a good inside.
Okay, Nick, good.
Why hate Jacob Hopper?
No, I love Jacob Hopper.
He's taking Tom Green's spot in the side.
Mate, you take your son's position, there's going to be ramifications.
Would you be the coach, the dad sending text to the coach? Be highlighting other players' bad performances?
What about when Billy Brownless, when his son was playing for Geelong, he walked in at half time or whatever, and Oscar looked for advice, and Bill just went with, "You've just got to be better." That was it. Nothing else.
Thanks, Dad.
You just have to be better.
Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, goodness.
But so how long does it extend the window for, do you reckon?
They're not going anywhere.
You don't reckon?
They're going to be contending next. If they get both of those guys.
Oh, sorry, they're not going anywhere in terms of.
Oh, as in their
final
conversation.
Right, I thought you meant that list is not going anywhere.
No.
It's funny. It looked like they were, they had 1 or 2 stars, but they were sort of fading. But then just injecting 2 more in the middles, that would be unbelievable.
They're pretty. How firm's Dimmer been around Dusty?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
That's
like it.
surprised. Yeah, so do I. That
Yeah.
surprised me. Like what's Dimmer said? He's signed with us for 2 years. I don't think anything different will happen.
But
Like,
it's really changed from the sort of mid-season where it's like,
we look
well,
now.
with what
Yeah.
he's done for us now,
Yeah.
like, da-da-da.
No, it's been
really
really
changed from
They're
that.
thinking the windows back open. They thought they were going for a bit of a lull. Now the window's back open.
Yeah,
yeah,
Dusty, you're staying, mate.
yeah.
And you're playing forward and then jumping into the mid.
don't mind it. He was underdone that final.
He was. Did he have his moments? Did he have...
Kicked an open goal.
Hardball bets. Thanks to the Tab Touch app.
All right, this is the hardball bets. Thanks to Tab Touch and the Tab Touch app. I'm going to keep it pretty simple and go with the broken leg man, Christian Petrarca, first goal, $15.
Think he might start deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
mind
Maybe
that.
he starts in the middle.
Don't mind that at 15
I don't know
bucks.
who's going to kick the first goal, Robbo, so I just picked one.
Okay.
Why don't you know?
I don't know. I had a good stretch there for like, it's probably going back 10 years now, but it was like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I thought I was like, the Oracle.
No, the Oracle of first goals.
Yeah, I was like, I just knew.
You just
who
picked
was gonna
Stephen
kick it
Milne
each
everywhere. Remember there was that patch where Stephen Milne just kicked the
Yeah,
first
the
goal
first
every second St Kilda game. Shout out to Eliza Riley for getting Ryan's / my bet up last week.
What did she roll with
nice.
again? Can you remember?
And she promptly texted me about it.
She just texted me about getting the day off work. She was having.
Oh, we did. Did we discuss? We did
Yeah, we
discuss
did
how
discuss
the
it.
grand final went, right?
Yeah, knocked out, double overtime.
Double overtime,
Yeah.
lost, knocked out.
Brutal. I think she had Jack for 3+ goals.
Yes, it
And
was.
he got there late.
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah,
kept it late, but
correct.
he got there. I'm taking a Melbourne win into Freo 1-24.
Okay.
Just paying $5.50. Go Dockers, gamble responsibly.
Well, I'm just going to stick to because this takes some knowledge.
I'm just going to stick to an 8-leg multi with 30 pluses and just
So if the
keep
wind's
it
flowing to
simple.
the right hand screen,
I'm going to take the
only
Scandinavian
off the back of
Rockies.
you, and I'm going to trump you. First goal,
Oh,
but first Brisbane goal scorer,
okay.
Link, $10.
The link man.
Yeah, just chuck it in the machine. Ding, ding, ding. Out it
Oh,
comes 10
Lincoln
times
McCarthy.
more.
He's had a bit like
Yeah, I know,
bad,
but just
he's
picture him picking up clean as a whistle on his left, bang, goal, 6 points.
That's the Michael Walters one-hand pickup snap goal. Like
Was that
very fast.
Was that after the Freddie tackle?
Yeah, no, the one before that.
Before that. Oh, at the other end, yeah.
That's
yeah.
sort of one of the like
It was
blink and
good.
you miss it kind
Yeah,
of.
no, outstanding.
Good touch.
He was terrific.
All right, that's Hardball Bets. Thanks to Tab Touch and the Tab Touch app. And this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, completely packed for work in the weekend. This podcast was brought to you by the new Mazda BT50 SP. It's a complete package. We'll see you next time.